Welcome to tonight's basketball edition of 360 Sports. I'm your host, Adam, alongside
Cadyn,
Jacob,
and Fernando.
Let's start off with some headlines. Last night, we saw the first games of the play-in tournament. We saw the Magic take down the Atlanta Hawks. They'll be moving on to the first round to face the reigning champion Boston Celtics. And we saw the Warriors take down the Grizzlies. They'll be moving on to face the Houston Rockets, where they are actually favored in that matchup. So, guys, what do we think about what we saw last night?
For me, the first game I want to talk about is the Hawks and the Magic. It was boring, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Magic won, which were the better team. And I'll be honest with you, the Magic's defense is legit, and it could cause problems for the Celtics. But at the end of the day, I still see the Celtics winning in 5 that series.
Yeah, I think that the Magic's defense and effort is that's what they can kind of like lay their head on at night, and that's big in the playoffs. But I will say, the Hawks were missing basically their entire big man rotation. No Clint Capella, no Jalen Johnson, no Larry Nance. So when you insert a guy like Porzingis, where those lanes aren't as clear anymore, that's where it's going to get problematic. Offensively for the Magic, I think that we'll get into it later with some talking about some future matchups, but I think the Magic get their scoring from Banchero and Wagner primarily, their forwards. But I think Celtics defense, when you take Derek White and you take Jason Tatum's an underrated defender in my opinion, and you put those as a primary defenders at the point of attack on those guys, I think that's going to force the ball into the hands of those guards for the Magic that are more so there to facilitate rather than score. So I think that's where Orlando is going to run into some problems against the Celtics, but I was impressed with their defense last night.
Yeah, I do. I thought it was really impressive that Paulo, because he was shooting really bad yesterday.
Yeah.
He had a really bad shooting day, but you still saw his impact on the floor.
Yep.
He was the reason
Led
they had
the
that
team in
huge run in the
assists too,
beginning of the game. Yeah, I think he had 9 assists and 7 rebounds or something like that. Just an all-around great game. It's nice to see stars being able to make impacts on other ends of the floor rather than just scoring. But on the Hawks side of the things, I wanted to say Trae Young had a great game. He had his 28 points. He wasn't shooting great in the first half.
And he got ejected.
He came back in the second half, and he had a better half, and they brought it pretty close,
They
too.
did.
They
They
brought
hung
it
in
back
there,
in,
yeah.
and then they just sold it again. But it's Trae Young had 28 points. Georges Niang was their second highest scorer with 15 points. That's just unacceptable in any sort of team game ever. I think the Hawks are just a mess. They were pretty much tanking this year. They're lucky to even be in this game. And, if they ever want to contend, get some help around Trae Young.
Yeah, so back to the Magic. Saw an interesting stat on Instagram that they have the second best win percentage against the Celtics since 2022.
Ooh.
And now those two will be playing each other in the first round. Now, I'm not
Trouble
going to
in
go out there
Boston?
and say that the Magic will win that series. I think the Celtics will win pretty easily. I could see a 5, maybe 6 game series, but that's an interesting note that the Magic could maybe give them some trouble.
Yeah, I know Orlando won the season series, but I still think a win for the Magic here is they take it to 6 games.
Yeah.
That's a win in their book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about the Grizzlies and Warriors game.
Yeah, for sure.
That game was really entertaining.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That it was going back and forth, and I would say that when John Moran got hurt, that the momentum for the Memphis Grizzlies just went down significantly.
Yeah.
And I do think if he didn't get hurt, we could have seen a different outcome in that game.
I agree, but I also think that the Grizzlies, Ja was in at the end of that game. They looked like they were scared of the moment. Down the stretch, it was sloppy pass. It was leaving your feet early, throwing the ball away. The last play of the game, they didn't even inbound the ball.
Yeah.
You can't go out like that. Granted, they're still alive technically. They'll play the winner of tonight's play-in with the Mavericks and Kings. So their season's not over. But they just looked scared of the moment. They looked like, guys were taking an extra hitch, taking an extra jab step when they had an open shot. I'm not impressed by the Grizzlies at all, and I think that was a huge win for the Warriors to push them in against, the young Rockets.
Apparently a favorable matchup, too.
Yeah,
Apparently.
Yeah.
I must say I'm really not that surprised about it. The Warriors have so much playoff experience on their side. It's been how many years, I feel like 5 or something, since we've seen Houston in the playoffs, and we're getting them here. The last time they were in the playoffs, they had James Harden and I believe Russell Westbrook on the team, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
That being said, the Rockets could definitely make this interesting, but
I do think as well. But at the end of the day, the Rockets are young. I think playoff experience always plays a huge factor in determining the outcome of these series. And at the end of the day, that's why I had the Warriors winning the series in the end.
Correct me if I'm wrong, did Ime win that ring against the Warriors, or was that the Warriors? Was that the one the Celtics lost?
That was
the one they lost.
Celtics lost.
Okay.
They lost that.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm gonna go the complete opposites. The Rockets are winning the series. They're the number 2 seed for a reason. We're gonna go in and act just because they're inexperienced, that they're gonna lose to Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. It's just the two of them on that team. Past them, it's who? Pods, Draymond Green.
Those numbers outside, you had Curry and Jimmy combined for 75 last night. Outside of those two, I think the only other double-digit scorer was Quinton Post.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
exactly.
so.
Draymond had 4 points. Pods had 3, 2. I don't even know.
Yeah,
it was abysmal. That is not sustainable. And the Rockets, you could argue, are a better defensive team.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
I mean, they did.
So that has to get into shape.
I mean, they did limit Steph Curry to 3 points the last time they played each other. So
Also, I think it's just Amen Thompson. He's a difference maker. He's probably the best, not the best, but he's probably a top 3 defender in the league in his second year in the league. And now you're going to toss him on either Jimmy Butler or Steph Curry. I think it's a favorable matchup if they put him on Steph Curry and make him go to work like that.
Yeah, I mean, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. But, yeah, why don't we just go on to
Let's
the next
move on.
topic? Because I lost what I was going to say.
Happens to us all.
Yeah. Well, the WNBA draft, just happened. We saw Paige Beckers go first overall to the Dallas Wings. We saw Hailey Van Lith go 11th overall to the Chicago Sky. And we saw Sedona Prince not get drafted. So what are our thoughts on the WNBA draft?
I mean, it was a no-brainer that Paige Beckers was going to go number
Dallas
1.
needed that.
Yeah, there was no brainer.
We got our Luka back.
And I mean, it's so awesome to see like how much momentum women's sports are getting right now. I mean, Caitlin Clark started it. Now Paige Beckers is the next phase right now. It's going to be awesome to see how these two women are revolutionizing women's sports.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I expect the viewership of the WNBA to have a significant increase.
Yeah.
When you get that influx of talent, that's huge because that's going to create rivalries. That increases the entertainment value. Like you said, Caitlin Clark kind of really got that surge going, and then hopefully Paige and some of the other girls that were drafted the other night can kind of keep that going. In particular, I actually want to talk about a player that got drafted. Anissa Morrow out of LSU is so tough. Like, I had to talk about her. She was 8th overall to the Kinetic Sun. She got drafted. She averaged a double-double both years at LSU. I think that's so impressive. 18 and 13 this past season is no easy feat. She kind of played that Angel Reese role after Angel Reese was drafted last season. She just attacks the basket with, this intentionality and footwork that is so impressive. And I just think that a lot of people give, Angel Reese a hard time for maybe not being super coordinated offensively. I think Anissa Morrow is, she has that to her game. I think that's going to translate to the next level exceptionally well. And I guarantee you we will be talking about her 10 years down the road being a WNBA great.
I want to also say it's awesome to see that Hailey Van Lith also is going to reunite with
Angel Reese.
That's a great
storyline.
That is actually so awesome to see.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I was going to say that. But on to our board segment, a little bit of a playoff edition segment, taking it to a first take level. If y'all have ever watched First Take and seen Steven's A-list, we're going to do our own version of that, where we are ranking our top 3 reasons to be excited for the NBA playoffs. Cadyn, you're up first.
Awesome.
Cadyn's A-list.
The C-list, rather. All right, so starting off, we touched on it earlier, Rockets and Warriors. To me, the first thing I thought about this is you have 2 generational crash outs in Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks. What do we think the over-under for techs in this series is?
Too many.
4.5,
I'm taking the over.
I'm taking the over in
Whatever
We
whatever.
don't
it is.
endorse betting on this show, by the way, but if we had to, what would the line be?
I'm taking 3.5.
6.5.
Over
6.5.
6.5. Woo!
Someone's getting suspended.
Anyway, back to the X's and O's. I think that when you have 2 playoff risers, such as Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry, and you have an unexperienced, you could say, Rockets lineup, I think that causes some issues for the Rockets. I do trust Ime Udoka to make some changes to kind of defend Steph Curry, force the ball out of his hands a little bit. I just don't know how you pick your poison. You know,
Yeah.
I guess maybe you say we're not going to let Steph beat us and we're going to make Jimmy beat us. I don't think you can take away both. But I think it'll be really interesting to see those kind of vets clash with the young bucks. I'm excited to see that. Moving on to my number 2 spots, I have Mr. Giannis. I'm not even going to try the last name, I butcher it every time. I should know it by now, but Antetokounmpo.
There
we go.
There we go.
Hasn't been past the second round since he won that ring against the Suns in 2020. You got to take down the Pacers, Giannis. I know you don't have Dame. Maybe he can come back, but your legacy, I fear, is on the line. Is that ridiculous? I don't think it's ridiculous
I'm
to
not
say.
sure.
I would say his time at the Bucks is on the line.
Yeah.
You can
That's a good
say
way to
time's
put it.
ticking. However, whatever narrative you want to spin, I think time is ticking. So I need Giannis to come out here to return to his dominant self on both ends of the basketball, and I think the Bucks have a chance. Are they necessarily favorites? Probably not. Are they favored? Do we think? No. What does Vegas say?
I would
Nick
probably
Volpe,
say
recently
yeah.
21. What do we got there? Tell us, Mr. Betting Man. Moving on, number 3 on my list, Celtics and Cavs. A lot of people would say that this is a boring matchup, but I want this. Some people say, oh, you don't want the 2 favorites. I want this. To me, these are the best 2 starting 5s in the NBA clashing against each other. Will we get it? They don't face each other until what? The earliest is the conference semis or finals. Conference finals. That is my dream, Eastern Conference Finals. I think that is the best shot at a great series. And, secretly I'm rooting for the Cavs. That's my A-list.
Valid list.
I'm also rooting for the Cavaliers here.
I'd like to see the Caps go far.
I don't want the Celtics to repeat at all.
Yeah, I don't think anybody besides a Boston fan does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who do we got
Jacob,
next?
go for
All
it.
right, let's go. All right, my list.
Big J.
Yeah, I kind of had a lot of fun with this. First off, shout out Nick Volpe. Happy birthday, kid.
Yes, sir.
All right, starting off number 3, we got Kawhi
Love
and the
it.
Clippers. Let's start with Kawhi. He's playing his best stretch of basketball since maybe half a decade ago. I don't know, but he's a killer, playoff killer. You do not want to see this guy in the playoffs. Pair him with James Harden and Zubac, who's probably a top 4 center in the league right now, in my opinion. I think he's balling like it. I think they got the depth to go far. They got the experience to go far. First round, they play the Nuggets. The Nuggets are very vulnerable. Then they're playing the Thunder, who I personally think the Clippers can take down the Thunder. And yeah, so I'm taking the Clippers and Kawhi. I'm really excited to see him in the playoffs again and see how he can perform and get this ball moving around. Number 2, I got JJ Redick. I am JJ Redick's biggest fan. Coming into the season, we were hearing why is LeBron hiring his podcast buddy. JJ Redick has no experience besides covering a high school basketball team. And now look at him right now. We're looking at him like he's the next Pat Riley. I think JJ Redick is really that good. He's so good at finding his players' strengths. I mean, he's making all these guys on this team look good. And if you put them Jackson Hayes right now looks like a superstar. That's all I got to say about him. But JJ Redick, I love what he's doing defensively, the schemes he's throwing at these guys. He's finding ways to stop Jokic, held Ant Edwards to 18 last time they played. I love what JJ Redick's doing. I'm really excited to see what he does in the playoffs because your coach is so important going down the stretch. To see what he does against these superstars, if he ends up playing the Thunder, I'd love to see how he ends up playing them. But yeah, so JJ Redick, I'm super excited to see what he's got. And lastly, Jalen Brunson. This is one that is so interesting to me because I think he's one of the best playoff performers in the league. However, this is a big if the Knicks lose to the Pistons, if they lose to the Pistons in the first round, we're going to have that conversation about Jalen Brunson because he's going to get...
What if it's not his fault?
If it's not his fault, then okay, we could talk about that. But if the Knicks lose this series and Jalen Brunson goes down, all of New York is going to hate this guy. Because in New York, it is really fast. They do not care about your feelings whatsoever if you're a player. They will love you 1 second, the second they will hate you. Look at Julius Randle. Look at Carmelo Anthony. They started hating that guy after a while. I think Jalen Brunson is that great of a player. However, if he starts losing and you're not getting past the Celtics or the Cavs, it's going to get to the point where you're saying he's not moving the ball around. He's not working in these guys who are superstar level on his team. And yeah, I think Jalen Brunson is kind of on the hot seat right now. If you don't make a run this playoffs, it's going to be a little bit of a debate. I know Tibbs is definitely on the hot seat, but yeah, so I'm taking Brunson as I'm most excited to see him and if he could get to the next level with the Knicks.
I do expect the Knicks to get out at the first round,
God,
but
I hope
after
you're
that,
right.
it's over.
Can I ask y'all one thing real quick? Do y'all think, it's just a yes or no, Do you think the Knicks are better equipped this year than last year?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I would say
I
so.
will
Yeah.
say
You think?
Yes.
everyone keeps saying that this was such an underwhelming season for the Knicks. However, we just got a 50-win season, which is not I'm not on the team, but the Knicks, they got a 50-win season, which is very impressive. I think their line was at like 40 coming into the year. So you top that, and you got all these guys on. It's their first year playing together. Give them some time to mesh. We also hit a lot of injuries this year, so I mean, you don't really get that much time in the regular season as you would hope. But I think coming into the playoffs, they're just a different team. And MSG in the playoffs, it's hard to go in there and win a game.
That's true.
So I'm saying, look, I saw them right before the regular season. They took Boston into overtime. I saw a team that day that
Silver
can
lining,
take
but
the
yeah.
Celtics in a 7-game series. I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but I'm saying they could definitely put up a fight.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, Fernando.
Well, we'll start with number 3.
I already know what I'm about
Let's
to
go.
see on this.
I actually went with as well the Rockets and the Warriors series. This is gonna be so much fun to watch. I mean, the Rockets had a phenomenal season, being the number 2 seed. Nobody expected that, and I'm gonna say this: Dylan Brooks. Don't be surprised if he takes a shot at Steph Curry or Jimmy Butler. This is what this guy likes to do. He likes to take shots. He did it to LeBron 2 years ago, and it cost him. Don't be surprised if he does it again. So I expect a very physical series. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be Steph Curry, playoff Jimmy Butler. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait for the series to start. Number 2, I want to talk about the Clippers and the Nuggets series. That's gonna be also great television. I mean, Jokic, I do feel horrible for him. I mean, this guy averaged a triple-double, and he's not going to be the MVP. Like, he was lights out this year, and he's going to kill it in the playoffs. I can tell you that right now. And the Clippers, I mean, nobody expected them to be this good this year because Kawhi Leonard, we didn't trust him to be healthy. He did that this year. James Harden actually played really well. Now, we're going to get a great series, but the question is, can Kawhi Leonard stay healthy? I hope so, because if he does, we're in for a great series, and I expect it to go to 7 games. And last one, Luka Doncic and LeBron.
Hey.
As a Lakers fan, I can't tell you how happy I was when Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers. And since then, wow, the Lakers have been awesome. It's so fun to watch these two. Luka's averaging 28 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 8 assists. LeBron is averaging 24 points, as well, almost 8 rebounds and 8 assists. These two are like playing lights out. They mesh well. They have great chemistry. These two are gonna kill it in the playoffs, and I expect them to absolutely destroy the Timberwolves in 6 games.
I agree. I think the Timberwolves are a mess right now.
A mess?
Wait, just tell me, who is the second option on this Timberwolves
I knew y'all were
team?
going to say that.
Julius
Julius,
Randle.
I don't
you have
think
good
you
experience
need
with that.
Exactly.
If Ant
Unbelievable.
is as good as I believe he is, I actually don't think you necessarily need that bona fide number
Yeah,
2.
I
I think they
agree.
have the depth that where
I agree.
as long as Ant is on his game, you can kind of you can figure
Work
your way around. You know,
Yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
the 3-point shooting, you have defense, you have the big man. I don't know.
I just read this.
I think destroy is crazy.
I just read
Yeah, I
this
think it'll
before
be
the
close,
series before the show started that apparently the Lakers are using Bronny and Shake Milton as a decoy to practice to defend Anthony Edwards.
I saw that.
That's kind of blasphemous.
I saw the Clippers are doing the same
okay.
with Ben Simmons as Nikola Jokic.
Ben
apparently,
Simmons.
too.
What a guy.
I guess not same build, maybe same height. But
Yeah.
For me, this
Yeah.
is just a fun duo to watch. It's gonna be fun.
yeah.
to
I
watch.
think that Clippers series is going to be so much fun. I don't think the Nuggets are going to win that series just
You
because
think?
I think they're just such a mess. They don't even have a head coach right now.
I don't think the Clippers have. Once you get past that big 3, it concerns me.
Yeah,
you have
I mean-
Zubac maybe, but
Yeah, after that, it's like you're looking at Bogdanovich,
Amir
and
Coffey, like
Ben Simmons, those guys off the bench.
that's what worries me
Yeah,
for the Clippers.
lack of production down there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with my 3 reasons. So let's start it out. Reason number 1. Same thing Fernando ended with. We have LeBron James and Luka Doncic. The duo, I don't think any of us expected to see form at the beginning of the season, but it happened no matter what we thought. And now they are together on the playoff stage for the first time. Like we've mentioned, they're taking on the Timberwolves. In my opinion, the most exciting series of the first round. I'm not sure how these two are going to play together on a playoff stage. I'm not sure if they're both going to put up 40 points every night. That would be amazing to see, by the way. But I'm willing to bet one of them at least is going to show up every single night, whether that's LeBron or Luka. I think they can both work hard enough and get the job done to advance to the next round. But anyways, second reason, we have the Boston Celtics title run part 2 maybe. I know everyone last year was criticizing the Celtics on their path to the finals. Yes, they face a lot of teams with injured star players, but they still got the job done in the end, and now they will be trying to defend their title. It's going to be fun to watch. Like I was mentioning, the Magic have the second best win percentage against them since 2022, and they're facing them in the first round. Then, if they beat the Magic, they could play teams like the Knicks, the Pacers, or the Cavaliers that we mentioned in the ensuing rounds, and those series are going to be fun to watch as well. I'm curious to see how far the Celtics can go, but perhaps the number one reason to be excited for me is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The number one team in the NBA this year, 68 wins, franchise record, league's leading scorer in SGA. You had the Thunder have the, I believe, highest point differential in NBA history. They had the best record against the Eastern Conference in NBA history, where their only loss came in Cleveland against the Cavs, and the next time they played them, they blew them out. So I'm excited to watch this team. They had a disappointing second-round exit last year, but I think now they have that experience. They have that feeling of losing under their belt, and they could go all the way and win the finals this year. Book it.
That's a
bold prediction.
Thunder second-round exits.
They are not. I promise
I don't
you
see
they are
them.
not.
I don't see them beating the Lakers.
I don't see them beating
And
the
this is maybe
Clippers.
being biased. This is me being biased. Maybe I'm being biased, but I just don't see them beating the Lakers.
I think the Thunder can at least go to the conference finals.
Of course they can.
They will beat Memphis, they will beat Sacramento, or they will beat Dallas.
I agree.
And I think they can beat the Clippers or the Nuggets. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I think they can. Maybe we get a team like the Lakers or the Warriors, and I wouldn't be thrilled to face either one, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, we got to move on to our blind rank. Winning the finals is always amazing, but winning finals MVP is an even better feeling possibly for a player. We're going to blind rank 5 finals MVPs and see what list we come up with. So, first one is 2022 Stephen
I feel like
Curry.
we're going to get hit with some crazy
Yeah.
people. So I'm gonna say,
Am I crazy for being like 4 here?
yeah, I was
Four?
kind
I'm
of
gonna
feeling
say
that
2.
too. Because I feel like
You don't think so?
He was the main reason
Yeah.
they did win in the end, and
Yeah.
they were the underdogs.
I just think in comparison to
Yeah,
some
to other
names that are
seasons, we're gonna get
pop
some
up.
You
crazy
said
people
4,
in here.
you said 2.
I'm fine with 3.
Why don't we meet in the
Can we
middle
do
of
let's make it
3?
3.
I'll
Let's
do
hit
3.
three.
Let's
cool
go
with
with
3.
3 for Steph.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Moving on.
2019 Kawhi.
I think 2.
2.
I
Definitely.
think 2 is valid.
Yeah,
Okay. Wait,
That
actually,
was-
who do we think we're gonna get better than?
That was just a
LeBron,
crazy
20s.
risk the Raptors took.
16?
trading for Kawhi.
Yeah, we
it
gotta
worked
pray
out.
for that, I guess.
All right, who's
Kawhi's
next?
R2.
2009
Ooh.
Kobe.
Damn, so now we gotta put him at 1 or 4.
I want to put him in 1, to be honest with you.
1. I know you want to put him at 1.
I feel like the only people who are better than
Average
the
32.
only people who had a better season than this in the finals. I mean, was probably LeBron in 16.
Yeah.
Do we think we're going to get LeBron in 16, though?
I don't think we will.
You know what? Let's say we're not going to get him.
Okay,
We might even.
so,
we might even get Dirk Nowitzki, don't you think?
Maybe.
dang, that was thing.
Wells would know me real well.
Wells,
if he
don't
did
hurt
that.
us like that.
So where are we throwing Kobe?
1.
Yeah, I feel like we have to. We can't
Fine,
put him
let's
at
go
four.
on.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
can't
so
put
we're
him at
leaving
5.
4 and 5. 2021
Okay.
Giannis.
Okay, yeah, I'm.
35 is crazy,
I would have
but
put him at 2 if like we just had the list straight out.
35 and 13.
I think I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with 4
Yeah,
for
I'm comfortable with
Giannis.
4.
Damn.
So who's our number
I think
5?
we messed up, I fear. But
Yeah.
I'm going to choose.
Oh, my
What
God.
did I tell you?
What did we
What did I tell
say?
you? I had a feeling.
Oh my
Statistically
God.
not there,
Is
but
our number 5.
Greatest run
But
ever.
perhaps
Greatest
the
final
dominance
run
of that
ever.
run, I was going to say,
yeah.
single-handedly took down LeBron,
Yeah.
D-Wade, and Chris Bosh in
And
the
Kobe.
finals.
If we're ranking on meaning of the finals MVP, but I think you could say rings are different than
Yep.
final MVP,
Yeah.
so I think we have to put him at 5.
Yeah, we do.
We don't have a choice, but I think regardless, he's at 5 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to do some playoff trivia.
I'm so bad at
Trivia.
trivia.
Yeah. Oh,
We
boy.
have playoff-related questions that we are going to answer with the playoffs right around the corner. So let's see what our first question is. Who averages more points in the playoffs for their career?
I want to say Harden.
James
just 'cause
I
he's
would say James
Harden
Harden. I would say
inflation.
James Harden too.
I mean,
He's had
James
some
Harden
crazy
was
series.
so
The
good
The
in his
Rockets
prime.
playoffs, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I got to go Harden here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're all going
he-
Harden.
We see what the answer is.
There we go.
It is
Harden.
I wasn't
Barely.
expecting it to be that
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess
I thought he would average more than that. But I
Yeah,
guess
it's
not.
mostly from the.
So, which player has more career playoff wins?
Definitely-
definitely Jimmy
or
Butler.
Jason Tatum?
Jimmy Jeffrey-
Wait,
Let's slow
Loki,
down a
Loki,
little
Jimmy
bit.
Butler's been around longer, but
Yeah,
Actually-
Tatum's been
but
to the
he wasn't
playoffs
making
more.
Jimmy only did it with the Heat.
Yeah.
And
He did it
I
with
mean,
the
now.
Timberwolves a little bit.
I mean, he was there for one season.
He had
and the
one
Sixers,
win with
like,
the
won
The
Bulls
Bulls
one
weren't
season.
winning with him too
Yeah,
much.
I think it's got to be Tatum.
Actually,
Tatum's
I think
been, Tatum's been
actually,
deep in
I
every
mentioned
single
might be
playoff.
Tatum.
I
he's
feel
ever
like it's a
existed.
trick
Am I
question.
just-
I
do
feel
I
like
laugh
this is
long
Let's
Tatum.
stick with Tatum.
Is this
Tatum.
obvious?
Hey,
Yeah,
there we go.
wow.
Good
By
call.
a
Let's
lot.
go.
Go.
Let's
Good
go.
job, guys. Who is more playoff triple
Russ.
doubles?
Russ.
This
It's not
is
even a
easy.
debate.
It's got
I
to
think
be
it's
Russ.
gonna be
Playoff.
Russ.
Well,
Playoff.
Okay, yeah, that's a good
Okay.
point
Russ
to bring
was
up
doing it in
there.
the regular
Yeah,
season.
that's a good
I'm
point.
still going to go Russ, though.
Russ.
I feel like Russ has.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, there we
See,
go.
it's closer than
Thank
we
you
think.
for thank you for going
Got
quick. I was
him.
about to say Luka, so you saved me from that.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions, or is that the last one? No.
That's
On
it.
the predictions.
We are going to
The
go on
play-in.
to play-in predictions. We still have 2 more play-in games before we get to the play-in finals, we should say. We have 2 9 versus 10 seed battles tonight. The first one is the Heat versus the Bulls. The second one is the Kings versus the Mavericks. We're going to go around and say who we think will win, but who we think, who we want to win, I guess.
Yeah, I'll start us off. But for the Heat Bulls games, the Bulls are 3-0 versus the Heat this season. I still think the Heat are winning. I trust Tyler Herro and Bam way more than I trust Kobe White and Giddey, who are guys who are just having this level of production just now. So I trust them way more. What about you guys?
I agree. I think it's going to be the Heat as well. I do think experience is always matter. They've been in this situation, the Heat, with the play-in games. They have veterans like Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro. The Bulls are young. I do think that's going to come into effect, and I do think this will be a good learning experience for them. But at the end of the day, who's going to be more clutch? I think it's going to be the Heat.
I agree. I have the Heat as well.
I don't know. I'm actually going to go with the Bulls. I have a feeling that Chicago is going to win this game for some reason, and I am rooting for them to win. I mean, Josh Giddey, Thunder legend, always will respect
This is
that
the
guy.
third straight year of Heat Bulls in the play-in.
Oh
Yeah.
that's
3 straight years.
good. Yeah. And
But anyways, Kings Mavericks.
I got the Kings. I mean, the Mavs are just a mess, and then also you can say the Kings are also in a mess too. But
Yeah.
I just feel like the Kings have a home field advantage, home court advantage technically. They're playing much better, and also, the Mavs only have a shot if Anthony Davis can win the matchup against Sabonis, and Klay Thompson goes lights out from the 3-point line. That ain't happening. Give me the Kings.
I could definitely see the Mavs winning this game. However, I do want to see the Kings win just for the reason that their atmosphere at home in the playoffs would be way more fun to see against OKC probably. So yeah, I'm still gonna say the Kings.
Light the
though.
beam.
Yeah.
Light the beam.
Yeah, I fear that I have to agree. As much as I want the Mavs to win for my own entertainment value, I just think that there's not enough offensive firepower there. And yeah, give me the Kings.
I'm going to make it a clean sweep and go Sacramento. I think they will defeat Dallas here. And I kind of want that to happen, no offense. I just, as a Thunder
None
fan,
taken.
I don't want to run into Dallas
Clean
again
sweep.
after last year. But let me ask you guys this question. So you all said the Heat would win. I said the Bulls would win. Do we think any of them beat the Atlanta Hawks?
I could see the Heat beating the Hawks.
I can see both of them beating the Hawks.
The Bulls, no.
I can see the.
I don't see the
I
Bulls
think-
The Bulls,
beating
no.
the
The
Hawks.
I can
Bulls,
see the
no.
Bulls beating the Hawks if Kobe White has a good game because him and Giddey could go off on any given night pretty
That's
much.
true.
It's weird how they just be going crazy some nights. Like Giddey just drops a 20-point triple
I
double
think
out of
maybe
nowhere.
I think the Hawks would probably, if they get a little healthier in that front court, I think that
Yeah, they come in that
that
game.
could help them out
Yeah.
a little bit, deal with Bam. So
Yeah.
I would take the Hawks.
It's going to be fun games.
Now, how about the Grizzlies? Do we see the Kings beating Memphis?
No, Memphis.
No,
is beating
no.
Memphis.
Grizzlies win that.
I
Not even a
think
debate.
I think Ja's gonna have a great series as he usually does. I think he always does. I think, however, for the Thunder, I think they don't want to see Memphis. They would much rather see any other team in the play-in.
Yeah, I mean, I would have much rather seen Memphis and Golden State. I will say that, but
Yeah.
in comparison to the other teams, I think I'd rather see Sacramento or Dallas and Memphis. But all right, we do have one more thing we want to throw in. Happy birthday to our very own Nick Volpe,
Happy
21st birthday, the GOAT
The
of
big
360
boy.
Sports. We love you and appreciate you, Nick.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all you
Yeah.
do for us.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it for us here on this basketball edition of 360 Sports. Alongside,
Fernando.
Jacob.
Cadyn.
I'm Adam. Have a good night, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the play-in and the playoffs.